Skip, do you like LaVar's response?
You know what? The more I analyze everything that LaVar Ball says, the more I like it. And I'm going to say this again. I love the way he's raising his three sons. I've had a couple of issues with a couple of things he said about why they lost their playoff game, and I'll stand by that. But in the big picture, I'll say this again. I did this live on Facebook last night. I wish this man had been my father. I didn't have a father near like this man. He is nothing but positively reinforcing everything that his kids do in ways that a lot of fathers don't. And we've talked and talked on my shows for years and years about so many star athletes have had to rise up without a father at home. And here's one who is completely engaged with his three sons, who defends his three sons against everybody all the way up to Charles Barkley and LeBron James. And he's setting a tone and setting an example for his sons. Hey, if they come back at me, I'm not going to back off or back down from anything that I said. And to me, he speaks the fearless and sometimes painful truth. And I had no issue. He just stated a fact that no son of a superstar has ever become a superstar or eclipsed his father's legacy. It's hard to do because the degree of difficulty is nearly impossibly high.
But he's saying it's only because of the pressure of their father being so great.
Okay.
He never mentioned what about they're not as talented as their fathers were.
It could be, but for whatever reason, especially if you have a kid who's coming up in your footsteps and trying to be you, I told you, the only one that I thought ever came close, you brought up the Hulls in hockey, and I don't know hockey well enough, but that's a good one. Those are both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But to me, Bobby Bonds was a very good player.
Yes.
He was a three-time All-Star, was the MVP of an All-Star game, and Barry came up in his footsteps and obviously eclipsed Bobby, who never quite lived up to his early billing.
Right.
He was supposed to be Barry Bonds, but then Barry eclipsed Bobby. And yet, in the big picture, just for him to make that statement, obviously LeBron named his firstborn son LeBron Jr.
Right.
Well, that's a big weight to carry, and yet LeBron Jr. to me looks like he's carrying that weight just fine because he looks like he's going to be really good at 12 years old.
And what's LaVar Ball, and it just so happens he named all three of his sons Lonzo, LaJello, LaMelo.
And he was what as a college basketball player? He failed at D1 at Washington State in Pullman, Washington for Kelvin Sampson. He got crossways with him, got in his doghouse, had to transfer to what was then D3, Cal State LA, and he was a pretty good player at D3. But there's no legacy to live up to. He's stating a fact. My kids don't have to outlive my legacy. There's no pressure to be better than me.
What legacy?
Thank you. That's it. Period. End of story. And because of what legacy, it's why I ask, why would LeBron respond to that guy who has no legacy? And it really, it hurt LeBron. He was stung by the...
First of all, it bothered LeBron because here's a man that doesn't know me, and he's bringing my kids into a discussion when I don't really discuss my kids.
But who is he? Who cares? Why should you acknowledge his existence? Why should you give him more credibility?
If I'm LeBron James, I don't respond any further. My grandfather used to always tell us, say, boy, you'll never get into a peeing contest with a skunk because you'll lose every time. Because that's what they do for a living. See, Skip,
I got to tell you, I wish I'd been raised by your grandfather. I'm serious. I'm serious.
He got that
I wish
wisdom.
I had nothing like this, man.
And the thing is, Skip, here's the thing, is that being on a farm, you know anything about farm, Skip. We used to have fire break where we try to, we try to control it. And a lot of times when it started to get up, we didn't put water on it. We just cut the oxygen. That's another way to put the fire out. Just cut his oxygen, LeBron. Okay. Just cut his oxygen, Charles.
Just ignore him.
Hold on. That's what I'm talking about.
But they didn't.
The more oxygen you give a fire, the bigger it will get. And sometimes it will continue to burn and burn and burn as long as there's oxygen. And there's something there it can grasp onto, can burn onto, it will get higher and higher and higher. So LeBron and moving forward. Because guess what? LaVar Ball has learned this thing that's called that media, TV. He says the more outlandish things I say, because see, it wasn't good enough to say my son playing college, he was a freshman, is better than a two-time MVP. No, that wasn't good enough.
Okay, but time out. Let's analyze that. As a point guard, right now, is Lonzo Ball better than Steph as a pure point guard? I'm not talking about a shooter, just as a point guard.
No.
Yeah, he is.
Because
I can just tell you he is because I love Steph. I pushed for him before the draft to be the #1 overall. but he's just an adequate point guard. He's pretty good, but he's not Lonzo Ball. He's just not. I can already tell you, Lonzo's better right now running the show than Steph Curry. Can't shoot like Steph because nobody can shoot like Steph.
Oh, okay. I like a guy. He's a better baker, but he just can't bake pastries. What makes no sense, Skip? Point guard means you score, you get everybody else involved. But, Lonzo Ball, he gets everybody else involved, but he can't score like Steph. Steph is a two-time league MVP. He won the last award unanimously.
He's a two-guard who can play some one when they need it, but they just all play one. They share the ball the way nobody's ever shared the ball. They're all point guards.
So the only way...
Draymond's the point guard.
The only way we can definitively say that Lonzo Ball is better than Steph, he better win two MVPs, and he better win one of them unanimously, and he better win some titles.
Okay, but he explained, I'm talking, he made it
no,
clear, I was talking about point guard.
We don't need his explanation.
You get stuck on the first statement, he's better than Steph. Oh, you can't say that. This man speaks such truth that he shocks the world, and the world says, you can't say that. He gets nerves.
He's better than Jason Kidd, too, right? As a point guard.
Well, no, not yet.
That's what he said.
But he's a better shooter than Jason ever thought about being.
So now shooting. So now shooting comes into
Can he be better than Jason because he's got the whole package? Sure. Yeah.
And then he said he's better than LeBron and Russell Westbrook. Now defend that statement.
As what? I didn't read that.
My boy, he always referred my boy. My boys. My boy better than LeBron and Russell Westbrook.
As what? I didn't read the rest of the statement. I don't know that one.
At nothing.
He's better. He's going to be better? I mean, he's clearly not better than him right now. Did he say that?
T-H-I-N-G. Nothing.
Did he say that?
That's what he said.
I don't know that he said that. Is that what? Did he say that?
But that's
he's
the
better
thing.
than LeBron right now?
But that's the thing.
Did he say he can be better? He said he can be better than Michael Jordan. He says he tells all his boys they can be better than Michael Jordan. He tells them that the sky isn't the limit. They can be whatever they believe they can be and work to be. I love that. I wish I'd had somebody like that. I didn't have a father.
My grandfather told me I can be a tree. I ain't got no bark on me yet. I ain't got no roots. I ain't got no leaves.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so
okay,
just because somebody tell you something, that means you can do it.
Skip,
you need to stop playing.
Okay, so what
you
I love about
LeVar... That's what I'm seeing,
no, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
What I love about LaVar Ball is most people, most civilians, thrust into this circumstance where all of a sudden Charles Barkley and LeBron James are firing back at me. Most, when given a second chance on the next day's radio show, would say, I went a little far with that, and I love Charles and I love LeBron, and they would backtrack a little bit. They would come off. He doesn't backtrack. He doubles down. And you know what? Guess what he said about LeBron yesterday? He said he is touchy. That's exactly what he is. That's what I told you to open this show. LeBron has become shockingly touchy. He is unraveling before your very eyes under the pressure to defend his title. So that was beautiful. That's a bingo. That's a boom.
Skip, let's keep
bullseye.
Let's keep this all the way 100. This man has been Lonzo Ball's dad for 19 years, and nobody ever heard of him until he said one outrageous comment. Now that got the cameras talking to him, talking about him. And so now what does he have to do? He has to get more outlandish, more outrageous in his comments. And what's the best way to really get the cameras on you, to really get them talking about you? Go after the de facto top dog in the NBA, which is the king of Akron, LeBron James.
Is that an accurate comment? LeBron has become touchy. Is that accurate?
Skip.
Is it accurate?
Skip.
You can't answer because you know it is.
No, Skip.
He got him.
Skip.
Bingo.
Skip. You know why LeBron if he wasn't on television, how many people do you think tries on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram tries to take shots at LeBron? But they're not on national television doing it. So he had to respond, Skip,